Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your buddy Chewie coming back at you. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Let's see. Back today with another of the first and favorites series. I guess we'll call it a series. So again, if you recall, last time we did favorite G.I. Joe, first and favorite G.I. Joe characters. Today I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do first and favorites Cobra characters. My first Cobra or bad guy, this was a tough one for me because my first Cobra figure was a guy by the name of Destro. Destro was kind of an arms dealer, and he looked very different than any of the other Cobra figures. He was dressed in all black. He had kind of this big red kind of collar, had an open shirt, and I believe he had a necklace on the figure, and then he had a silver face mask, a silver mask. I have to say, I always kind of gravitated towards the Cobra figures because they all look different, right? With the exception of, Cobra Trooper #1, they all kind of look different. Whereas the Joes, there was just an awful lot of fatigues and camo and that kind of thing. So Destro was my first. My favorite was by far Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow was the Cobra Ninja. He was dressed all in white, had a little red Cobra insignia on his breast. He had kind of a bandolier across both chests with ninja throwing stars, and he had this backpack that carried two or three swords, which I just thought was the coolest thing ever. I remember hunting down that figure. Obviously this is pre-Amazon. Hell, it was pre-internet. But so trying to find a toy store that had the Cobra Storm Shadow figure was not an easy thing. I cannot tell you how many times this little boy got on the phone and called, I don't know if it was Toys R Us or Children's Palace or Kmart or, I don't even remember what the toy stores were that I went to those days. But I remember my mother, we found one way across town, like 40 minutes or so on the other side of town. And my mother drove all the way across town and got me my Storm Shadow figure. And I remember that it was like the coolest thing ever. And this was after like months and months of searching for Storm Shadow. I just couldn't find it. It was always out of stock. Couldn't order it. And we finally found one. Ironically enough, when she found one, I don't know, she must have had one of her friends out looking for it as well, or what have you. People knew that I wanted this figure. And the day she found it, I actually got another one as well. So I went from months and months and months of just wanting this figure and searching high and low for this figure, and I went from having one to having two, or none to having two overnight. So actually what I did with that second one was I spray painted him silver, which I thought at the time was just the coolest thing ever. I have no idea why I thought silver would be cool, but I had a white and a silver Storm Shadow, which to this day, Storm Shadow is probably my overall all-time favorite G.I. Joe character. If you read the comics, the Real American Hero comics from Larry Hama, you know that there's this really long backstory between Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. They're kind of in the same ninja clan, the Arashikage clan. They've got the same tattoo on their forearm, which would be a badass tattoo to get, by the way. Actually, I think now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the wrestler CM Punk, I'm pretty sure has that tattoo. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure he had that. That's super cool. But anyways, Storm Shadow was my favorite. I will give one for the Cobras. I will give one honorable mention, and the figure that was right up there with my second favorite was Zartan. Zartan was this kind of master of disguise. He was this chameleon, and the figure actually turned colors, which was just the coolest thing ever. You would take him out in the sunlight and he would actually change colors, and he had this really cool badass like motorcycle slash dune buggy thing that was made of this green plastic, and it would change colors too. And I remember Zartan, I played the hell out of that Zartan figure. So first was Destro, which was a great figure. Favorite was definitely Storm Shadow, and then we did have an honorable mention of Zartan. Like I said, the Cobra figures in my book were always kind of cooler than the G.I. Joe figures. So hope everybody's doing well, and we'll be back with another first and favorite before you know it. Bye.